Egypt and Australia discuss the Gaza ceasefire and Palestinian statehood. President Sisi stresses the urgent need for Gaza aid, highlights Egypt-Hungary partnership. Qatar affirms commitment to working with Egypt and the US on Gaza ceasefire. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has welcomed Australia's Governor-General Sam Mostyn at the Ittihadiyya Palace in Cairo. The official reception featured national anthems and Guard of Honor. During their talks, President al-Sisi expressed appreciation for the contributions of the Egyptian community in Australia and highlighted the importance of boosting economic cooperation between the two countries. The discussions also focused on Gaza, with both sides stressing the need to reconstruct the territory in line with the Arab Islamic plan. They reaffirmed their commitment to advancing efforts towards a two-state solution and the establishment of a Palestinian state in accordance with international law. President al-Sisi also extended an invitation to the Governor-General Mostyn to attend the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has welcomed the Speaker of the Hungarian Parliament along with Egypt's House Speaker Dr. Hanafi El-Gebali at the Ittihadiyya Palace. And during the meeting, President al-Sisi stressed the urgent need to deliver sufficient humanitarian aid to Gaza in light of the catastrophic conditions facing the Palestinians. He also underlined the strategic partnership between Egypt and Hungary, building on strong historical ties, and reaffirmed the shared commitment to strengthening cooperation across various fields, including parliamentary relations. Al-Sisi praised Hungary's support for Egypt within the European Union institutions. The Hungarian Parliament Speaker, in turn, recognized Egypt's vital role in maintaining regional security and expressed Hungary's desire to further enhance cooperation with Cairo. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has sent a cable to Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan, offering his congratulations on the occasion of Tanzania's Union Day. The president also delegated Presidential Secretary Ahmed Mohamed Rida to the Tanzanian Embassy in Cairo to convey Egypt's greetings on this occasion. Egypt has welcomed the appointment of the outgoing Secretary General of the Executive Committee of the Palestine Liberation Organization, Hussein al-Sheikh, as Vice Chairman of the Executive Committee and Vice President of Palestine. Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati congratulated al-Sheikh on his new role, expressing confidence in his efforts to defend Palestinian rights. Egypt reaffirmed its support for the Palestinian Authority and the Palestinian people's right to self-determination and the establishment of an independent state based on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. Egypt also stressed its ongoing commitment to restoring a ceasefire in Gaza, delivering humanitarian aid and supporting reconstruction efforts. Tensions escalate in Lebanon as Israeli occupation forces step up military activity over Beirut's southern suburbs. Israeli media report preparations to strike Hezbollah weapon sites, while Al Qahira news correspondents confirm heavy displacement, drone flights, and warning strikes. A building in Hadath has already been hit. The Israeli statement called on civilians to evacuate at least 300 meters from the building for their safety. It marks only the second time that Israel has issued warnings ahead of strikes in Beirut since the start of the ceasefire with Lebanon. Stay tuned to Q News for the full coverage. Tensions escalate in Lebanon as Israeli occupation forces step up military action over Beirut's southern suburbs. Israeli media report preparations to strike Hezbollah weapon sites, while Al Qahira news correspondents confirm heavy displacement, drone flights, and warning strikes. A building in Hadath has already been hit. The Israeli statement called on the civilians to evacuate at least 300 meters from the building for their safety. It marks only the second time that Israel has issued warnings ahead of strikes in Beirut since the start of the ceasefire with Lebanon. Stay tuned to Q News for full coverage. Qatar's foreign minister has confirmed that his country continues to work with Egypt and the United States to advance to the second phase of the Gaza agreement. He reiterated Qatar's commitment to cooperating with partners to end the war in Gaza and noted progress in negotiations on reaching a ceasefire. The minister stressed that talks remain ongoing, voiced serious concern over the risk of a ceasefire collapse, and condemned the use of starvation as a weapon against the Palestinian people. The Turkish foreign minister has expressed appreciation for the Egyptian and Qatari efforts to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza. He noted that humanitarian aid has not entered the region for nearly 2 months and condemned Israel's actions as ethnic cleansing, highlighting human rights violations in Gaza. The minister reaffirmed that prioritizing a ceasefire and facilitating humanitarian assistance are essential. He also emphasized the significance of a two-state solution to promote peace and stability in the region. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati has called for calming tensions, de-escalating the situation, and exercising restraint to avoid further turmoil in the region following the Kashmir attack. And during a phone call with his Pakistani counterpart, Mohammad Ishaq Dar, Minister Abdelati reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to enhancing cooperation and advancing bilateral relations between the two countries across various fields. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati also expressed his condolences to the Indian government and people following the recent terrorist attack in Kashmir, and during a phone call with his Indian counterpart. Abdelati reaffirmed Egypt's strong stance against all forms of terrorism and extremism, emphasizing the importance of self-restraint at this critical juncture to prevent further escalation and support efforts to bring security and stability to the region. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration Badr Abdelati has reaffirmed Egypt's steadfast commitment to supporting the Comoros Islands. In a phone call with his Comorian counterpart, the two sides discussed developments in the Horn of Africa, updates in the Red Sea, and coordination efforts within the African Union and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to advance mutual interests. The Comorian foreign minister expressed appreciation for Egypt's pivotal role in supporting African causes. A Hamas delegation has concluded discussions with the Egyptian officials in Cairo about efforts to broker a ceasefire in Gaza. The agreement includes continued communication towards achieving a comprehensive deal involving a ceasefire, detainees exchange, and reconstruction. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has emphasized that the Suez Canal economic zone offers promising opportunities for investors, serving as a key logistics gateway linking the East and the West. During a meeting with Walid Gamali, the chairman of the General Authority for the Suez Canal Economic Zone, Madbouli reviewed the authority's activities, the progress of ongoing projects, and efforts to attract further investments. Gamaleddin reported that contracts worth $8.3 billion were signed to implement 272 projects, including 262 projects in the industrial, logistics, and service sectors, expecting to create more than 40,000 jobs.
The Suez Canal Economic Zone, the SC Zone, continues to be a key driver in Egypt's economic development, offering significant investment opportunities. Strategically located, the CS Zone has transformed into a global industrial and logistical hub, bolstered by world-class infrastructure and comprehensive investment incentives. Recent upgrades to the CS Zone's port have expanded docking capacity and enhanced logistics services, improving its competitiveness both regionally and globally. Alongside this, efforts to streamline administrative processes are ensuring long-term economic sustainability by making it easier for investors to operate. Since 2022, the SC Zone has attracted over $8.3 billion in investment, resulting in 272 projects and over 40,000 job opportunities. The zone is home to 387 companies, with significant foreign investments coming from Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. This highlights growing global confidence in Egypt's economic potential. Among its key areas, Sokhna is undergoing major development to become a leading center for green energy, pharmaceuticals, electronics, and automobile manufacturing. It houses Egypt's largest port on the Red Sea, further enhancing its position as a global logistics hub. The SC Zone also sees growth in East Port Said, with investments in electric vehicles, engineering tools, and construction materials, helping to diversify Egypt's industrial base. Additionally, the SC Zone is embracing digital transformation to streamline services and improve efficiency. By partnering with international organizations like the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, it is enhancing transparency and simplifying investment procedures. With continued focus on innovation and infrastructure, the Suez Canal Economic Zone is solidifying its role as a major economic asset for Egypt, contributing to the country's goal of becoming a global leader in trade and investment.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has viewed with the Electricity Minister Mahmoud Ismat the government's plan to address rising electricity loads and increased demand during the summer season. Madbouli stressed the importance of securing a stable electricity supply in line with President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's directives to find decisive solutions to load shedding. The Prime Minister emphasized the goal of sustaining load shedding during the summer months to ease the burden on citizens. Egypt's Fatwa House will cite the crescent moon of Zulqa'dah for the year 1446 Hijri tomorrow. Monday after the Maghrib prayer. Astronomical calculations indicate that the crescent will be born immediately after the conjunction at 9:32 p.m. Cairo local time on Monday, the 29th of Shawwal, 1446 AH. The Egyptian national judo team has claimed the overall title at the African Senior Judo Championship in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. The tournament saw wide participation with 185 athletes representing 24 African countries. The Pharaohs achieved an impressive feat by winning 9 medals in total, 4 gold, 1 silver and 4 bronze, placing them at the top of the championship's medal table. Medals were awarded by Mohamed Moutia, the president of the Egyptian Judo Federation and the Assistant Secretary General of the Egyptian Olympic Committee, alongside President of the African Judo Union. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin, and here's what we've been covering. Egypt and Australia discuss the Gaza ceasefire and Palestinian statehood. President Sisi stresses urgent need for Gaza aid, highlights Egypt-Hungary partnership. Qatar affirms commitment to working with Egypt and the U.S. on Gaza's ceasefire. And that's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments.